Hello, everybody. My name is Storm with another cast. It's going to be between Cecil Sunkure, the pink Protoss player in the top right, and in the bottom left we have Ruin, the blue Terran player. Looks like it is going to be a custom match between each other, so they didn't get into a ladder match. This is actually just going to be two players practicing against each other, possibly two friends. Just want to get a couple games in, try new builds, or just to get some better TVP practice in. Um, I did actually lower my mic volume a little bit because it was really loud. You could hear my breathing. I mean, it'd pick up anything. If there's any noise, like a text message, anything like that, it'd pick it up. So I went ahead and lowered it. Hopefully it's not too low. Hopefully it's pretty good there. It might be a little bit too loud still. I checked it and it seemed a little bit, still a little bit loud. Um, but right now we just see a supply depot and a pylon coming down, and then a chrono boost on CecilSunkure. After this game, I am going to cast a TVZ with Ruin as well. He submitted a few replays. Sorry, I got an email right there. I can't really turn those off yet. But anyways, as I was saying, I am going to cast a game between Ruin and I think it was XN Mim CPY Mim copy. He is a Zerg player that used to be in my old clan, so I wanted to cast his game, even though I have a lot of TVZs, just to kind of give him some noticeable accomplishments in case he wins. I know he also played Adabizi, and so he was listed on there, so he's pretty good. His MMR is up there at least. Regardless, we do have a probe being sent down to scout. It is going to be on the map. What is this? Wow, I can't think of the name of it right now. I know it, I just cannot think of it. Come on, Cloud Kingdom, there we go. Unfortunately, well, let's see if they actually pick the version with the flying shark. I'm not sure. It should be around here somewhere. But we'll see it if it is. But yeah, it is going to be on Cloud Kingdom. I'm not really a big fan of this map. I actually have it vetoed. I feel like the textures are just way too dark. And whenever the way it plays out in TVZ, I feel like is just a little bit weird. I just don't seem to like it. We do actually have a second barracks being thrown down here for Ruin. The probe is going to scout that information and see, yes, we do have a gas with two barracks being done. I actually missed the gas coming up. So, CecilSunkure is just going to be scouting around here, trying to keep his probe alive as long as possible, but that Marine is going to be able to kill it. Is he going to be able to get the SCV? No, he is not. Let's see what Cecil is going to be able to do to kind of deny this to Rack's pressure. Right now we see a gateway with a Zealot on the way and a Stalker chrono boosting his Cybernetics core. Only one gas right now. And yeah, not too much. We'll see how he kind of deals with any like 2 racks pressure. He did go for a tech lab first. I think my preference is to get the reactor first, but that's just what I like to do so that I can get a lot of Marines out whenever I push with 2 Marauders. So the Zealot is being sent out here by Cecil. I'm just going to call him Cecil. It's much easier. He's sending it out to the Zelnaga Tower, and SCV is being sent out as well to scout. Now I'm going to check real fast in Ruin's vision. Looks like he's number 2. He hasn't actually even scouted the Protoss. He has no idea what he's doing, and the Stalker is going to be out. So if the Zealot or the Stalker kills the SCV, Ruin isn't going to get the information he needs, or we're going to be able to place down that bunker. And wow, Cecil's actually just putting down a natural expansion. Feels safe. Feels alright with doing that. We do have the Zealot being sent down past the rocks. Going to hit that Marauder as best as he can, but I believe he is going to die. He might be able to get a Marine, but no. Getting kited back. Concussive Shells has been finished. The Zealot is taking some health damage. It might die. It looks like it is indeed going to die. Stalker is trying to back out, but that natural expansion is under a little bit of threat here. Only 2 Marines and a Marauder, but he is rallying forces, and if he gets a bunker up, that could be very, very dangerous for Cecil here. We have another gateway being thrown down. Actually, 2 more gateways being thrown down. So he's going to go for that standard 3-gate robo with an expo behind it. Right now, though, Ruin is just doing a ton of damage to the natural expansion, and a bunker is on its way. He is pulling probes to try and deal with this. There is a sentry, but I don't feel like there's enough DPS here for Cecil to be able to do anything, really. The probe's trying to do what they can, but losing a lot of probes here in the process. Ruin trying to kill. He did lose a Marine right there. The bunker isn't going to be able to be completed. There are no SCVs out. Is he sending more? No, he is not. Excuse me. He is getting a lot of free shots on this natural expansion here. If he takes it out, I don't know how Cecil can bring himself back into the game. Zealot is being morphed in. There is a force field right behind the units, but unfortunately it's not going to do anything. 2 more Zealots being morphed in as well. And more reinforcements for Ruin. This is not looking good for Cecil at all. Is he going to be able to cancel that bunker? No! Yeah, there it is. He got the cancel on the bunker, but still. Yeah, I'm not sure what Cecil can do here. They're trying to use the Zealots as best as he can, but it's getting kited by the Marauders. This is just looking really bad because the Marauders do so much damage to the Stalkers. Now he's target firing the Stalkers, then kills the Zealot. Force field going down here. The forces are dwindling now for Ruin, but he is still reinforcing as best as he possibly can. Trying to kill the Sentries. The Sentries just tickle with damage. That Marauder sitting there with 9 health, still surviving. He needs to kill that Marauder. Do what he can. He is warping in more units as he what am I trying to say? He's trying to warp in more units, but he keeps warping in sentries for force fields, and he has no damaging units, so the force fields are pretty much useless, and he's just throwing him free gas. So we see a Zealot being morphed in as well. This Marauder is sitting here with 8 health. The Nexus at the natural is taking a ton of damage, trying to regenerate its shields now. A Stalker being morphed in here. One of the Marines are going down. That Stalker is also going to go down. I feel like Ruin is in a very, very good spot right now. Going back to Cecil's main to see what he's up to. He's throwing down another gas. Has nothing really. Is he going to lose his natural? Oh, good. Oh, no. Oh no, Cecil, you are going to lose your natural expansion. I'm not sure why he did that. He saw the 2 racks pressure. He knew it was coming. Like, he scouted his best, like, as much stuff as he possibly could, and he just made an expo anyways and didn't throw on additional gateways till later. Like, he just banked up. So Ruin is keeping on the pressure, containing Cecil at the natural. He's going to put a bunker up here likely. Throwing his expansion now is also in a orbital command, getting combat shields as well. Another tech lab down. No reactors, actually. I'm not sure why he keeps these barracks naked for so long. No second gas. He does have an engineering bay up, researching +1. He is pushing up towards the natural. There is a force field down, so the forces are going to die. I feel like he shouldn't have done that. I think if he could have contained him at the natural for as long as he possibly could while he macroed up, he'd be in a really, really, really unbeatable spot. I was going to say solid position, but I just don't think he's even beatable at that point. But instead getting a little bit over eager and deciding to push out. We do have a robotics facility being thrown down for Cecil here, and sending a probe out to get some scouting information, but dying instead. Cecil is going to be able to get some units to kind of push this force back here. But if Ruin keeps reinforcing, I think he won't have any issues. I think he can take it. Does he have stim? Yes, he sure does. It looks like combat shield also finished as well. +1 is about halfway done, but his reinforcements are being rallied in the incorrect positions. So losing a Marine right there, but that's alright. Scan up on the ramp, sees that there are 2 sentries. Is he going to push forward or try to bait some force fields? Looks like he's going to try and bait, but is unsuccessful. Right now in the resources lost, we have 30 units killed for Ruin and also 15 workers killed. So Cecil playing at a very, very, very big disadvantage. Trying to get an Immortal out. The Immortal can definitely push this force back because it's a really Marauder heavy army, and Marauders are good if the Protoss is going for a more Stalker base, but unfortunately he's not. More Marines are being rallied over here. Not too much going on, just some reinforcements being sent in containing Cecil while Ruin macros up. It's in a really, really, really rough spot right now for Cecil. There's not really much he can do. He can't expand. Ruin is free to do whatever he pleases. He can get his medevacs out, he can take his 3rd base, he can do whatever he wants. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what Cecil can even do at this point. I feel like it's a lost cause, but maybe he's kind of relying on Ruin to mess up somewhere on his own. Looks like there was going to be a push here for the Protoss. Unfortunately, Ruin backed out, so he is not going to be able to do the damage he wants. He's trying to rally some more Immortals over to the first Immortal that he has out, warping in some Zealots. Ooh, trying to kite some units back to the ramp so that they try and fight the Terran army, but not quite working. Cecil with good reaction timing here. Another sentry being morphed in. More reinforcements being sent in here for Ruin. And again, just sitting at that natural, containing him as long as you possibly can. Look at the supplies. It's 100 to 71. The income tab, 45 SCVs to 29. And a few of those SCVs for Cecil aren't even going to be mining. It's because he's oversaturated as main. Another scan going down at the natural here. Killing off some Zealots. It looks like just more units being sent in, just not getting supply block. I mean, there's really not too much to say right now. There's the production tab. Cecil can't really afford anything at all because he's trying to get this really big army so that he can actually expand. So he has to do a ton of damage right now, or else he's going to lose this game. The Immortals trying to do what they can, but I feel like the Marine count finally got to a point where it's good so that they can kill off the Immortals, but there are 3 Immortals out on the field and another one on the way. So he's going to force Ruin to go back, but Ruin has had that natural up for so long. He's also been teching up. Is he going to get a second Immortal? That third Immortal, if it goes down, wow. So now the DPS of Cecil has dwindled. I mean, the Immortals are the huge damage dealers of that army. That's a lot of Stalkers, and as we mentioned earlier, Ruin likes to go for a more Marauder-based army. So those Stalkers are going to die really fast, especially with +1/+1 finished. Does he have an armory on the way? No, he doesn't have an armory or a second engineering bay. So kind of messing up the macro right there, just trying to focus on that contain. But if you have a feeling that you can win it with the contain, then might as well. Cecil trying to expo, but I feel like he has to push right now. I feel like this is his time, not to let the Terran macro up and get a force to kind of negate it. I mean, he could go for like a triple expo, but I don't feel like that's going to work. I feel like Ruin is going to push out pretty soon once he has medevacs and a larger army and do a ton of damage while he takes his third behind it. Well, I cracked right there. So we have a second Immortal coming out here for Cecil. Just trying to kill the units over at the third, push them back a little bit. Actually, it looks like that's a third Immortal right there too. So investing a lot into Immortals. I would like to see Ruin get a lot more Marines than what he has and kind of put add-ons on these naked barracks. It's very important to do that as soon as you can. There is a scan over at the Natural, knows that it is coming up, but his third base is also trying to get itself up and running at the same time. The factory is finished. Is there an armory out yet? Doesn't look like he's starting a Ghost Academy. There is an armory on the way from the production tab that I see now, and a starport is on the way as well. So he delayed starport and his +2/+2 pretty significantly, actually, just to invest in this huge army. So right now we have a robotics bay going down for Cecil. I think that Ruin needs to make a push pretty soon while he's taking this third behind it. He's possibly waiting for medevacs though. But there's no reactor is the kind of what I'm thinking. Like there's no reactor on the starport or the barracks to swap out. So he's not going to be able to make two medevacs at a time, only one at a time unless he puts the reactor on the starport. So the third base is up and running and fully saturated. Actually, it's oversaturated now. The Natural looks like it's oversaturated a little bit, and the main is almost mined out. So it looks like Ruin needs to start taking a fourth or thinking about it pretty soon. He has a lot of SCVs. Right now, Cecil, his forces are actually really low. 3 Immortals, 9 Stalkers, 1 Sentry, and likely a Colossus on the way. Yes, that is true. He is researching extended thermal lens, but he's broke. I mean, he's just now taken his natural expansion. His main is almost mined out. He can't invest into an army to support the Colossus, and it's just going to die. Because you see that Ruin has 1/1. And he also has Ghosts, which aren't going to be too great against Colossi, but they will be great against the Immortals, taking away the shield damage, or the shields immediately, and then just killing it off. So right now, Cecil's sitting at about 400 minerals. Is he going to take a third, or is he going to try and invest in an army? There is a Marauder sitting at the third to know, and it looks like he is going to take a third. So checking the upgrades here, no upgrades for the Protoss player either. No +2 started for the Terran player. Killing the destructible rocks so he doesn't get too caught up in that choke. I feel like he might, I feel like splitting the army in half and going for a flank, one at the third, one at the ramp, so that he doesn't take too much splash damage from that one Colossus, because the sentries out there, wow, great EMPs, getting all the, good god, I can't talk, getting all the energy off of the sentries and hitting on all of the Protoss units because they're all balled up. Colossus being microed back to the main. The forces of Cecil have died. This should be GG. There it is. GG by Cecil. I feel like that game was really straightforward, and I feel like the main reason that Ruin won is because Cecil made a really bad decision. Instead of getting 3 gates as fast as he could, and trying to get warp gate tech or investing into army really fast by chrono boosting his gateways, he instead went for a natural expansion and thought he could hold it off. But the way Cloud Kingdom's set up, I mean, you need what, one, two, about three or four force fields, perfect too, to force field this ramp, and that's just to deny them from getting towards the natural. And that's 4 centuries that you need at the very early stages of the game to do that. And yeah, it's just way too hard to defend that natural if they're going for 2 racks pressure with gas. Like, you know that he's going to have add-ons, you know that he's going to get concussive shell, or he's going to push with like stim. He's going to make an early push. So I think that Cecil was relying that the Terran would wait and try to get, like I mentioned, the reactor first, 2 racks, get a lot of Marines and push out with 2 Marauders, because then he'd have enough DPS to support the sentries and keep his natural expansion up and running. But unfortunately, Rim pushed out with a little bit sooner, and did a ton of damage and caught Cecil in an awkward position. I feel like in the higher leagues, people try to do that, play as greedy as they can. He's like, okay, I know that he's going for 2 racks. I don't know what kind of variation he is, but I think he's going to push a little bit later and try to tech up really hard and push with it. So I'm going to get my natural expansion up, so that that way, whenever I kill him and hold that pressure off, I have a natural up, and I'm good on probe count, and now I'm ahead economically, and I can secure myself a win. However, in the lower leagues, they're like, oh god, 2 racks, let me invest into a bunch of stuff. They hold it off, and then they either lose the game because they can't macro, or they win it because they held it off properly. But anyways, that's what I was going to say about this game. It's pretty straightforward, not too much going on, but I feel like Ruin should definitely start looking into getting a faster armory and second engineering bay. I feel like he should get some reactors on these barracks instead of producing them nakedly, so that he can... The main thing that I feel like... Excuse me, sorry, I had to get a drink here. The main thing I have a problem with the naked barracks is, first of all, look at Ruin's money. He's floating at 1k minerals right now. Secondly, when you go for these naked barracks just to produce Marines, and you say, oh, well, I can produce 2 Marines faster out of 2 barracks than I can with a reactor, there's some math involved with that. I can't remember what it is. But you're also spending... some production, like what is it that I want to say here? You're using the land that is provided to you to put another barracks down when you could just put a reactor down and have more space to build so that you have better Sim City. That's something that's actually a pretty big deal, because you find yourself in situations like Ruins where you have supply depots randomly placed, you have barracks kind of thrown around, and now he's running out of places to put his stuff in the main. So it's just something to think about. I definitely think that reactors are much better than just using 2 naked racks. So let's go ahead and proceed on to the next game. I talked about this one for way too long. It is going to be between Ruin and XNMCPY, the Zerg player. Thank you guys for watching. Take care.